Okay, the bickering continues with the Orange County reunion. The first part was literally just these ladies yelling into the void, so I couldn't even recap it on its own. So we're doing both parts together. Let's dive into the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion, parts 1 and 2. Spoiler, it was kind of lackluster. Let's talk about it. What's up, everyone? I'm recapping this reunion only because we followed these ladies through a whole 16 episode season. But to be honest, I wasn't enthused about both parts of the reunion. So I'm not going to cover every last detail, just the few parts that I found interesting. Let's start with Jen. When they do her package, we learn that she began fostering kids because she felt emptiness in her marriage. That is such a selfless act. It honestly just solidifies how genuinely caring she is as a person. And it's evident on the show. To think that she was feeling distant from her husband and she is such a pure, kind-hearted soul that she filled that void by caring for children in need. Tamra gets upset when Jen asks why she brought her onto the show just to drag her for filth. Tamra says that she and Jen weren't close when Jen was cast on the show, so she says she didn't bring her on. That was just the gateway that producers used. Well, she could have fooled us. That whole scene at the bowling alley with Tamra, Eddie, Jen, and Ryan, where they were acting like they were the couple bestie friend group, that was all lies. So shady. Anything to get back on the show, right, Tamra? Tamra decided to break out some text messages that she lets Andy read between Ryan and the woman she claims he was cheating on her with while dating Jen. Heather's face when Tamra brought out the text messages. Okay, did we know that the break Jen and Ryan were on was only 2 weeks? Tamra feels like these texts are some kind of smoking gun or something. I don't think there was any question that Ryan slept with and was involved with another woman. I don't understand the Tamra Judge brand of friendship. Jen has easily said 20 plus times that she is aware of everything that went down with Ryan and the whole cheating thing. They've worked through it, she's moved past it, and she's forgiven him. It's like Tamra wants to find something that she thinks Jen will find upsetting enough to make her leave Ryan. If she's happy with the Armenian gigolo, then why are you concerned at this level? Jen has made her choice. Get over it. Emily and Tamra make a point of saying that Shannon was eating up the Jen drama and said they needed to dig up more dirt on Jen. Shannon denies, obviously, but I think it is showing how the Shannon Storms Bador facade is starting to crack. She tries to come across like this empathetic person, which in some contexts I'm sure she is, but clearly if the Jen drama is front and center on the show, then the heat is off of her and her crumbling relationship with John Janssen. The whole dick pic story is just dragged out. The women point out how Jen continues to change up the details of that story, and Tamra just doubles down on how much of a jerk she is. She tells Jen, "I think you deserve happiness," and then tries to show concern when she was just yelling at Saint Jen and calling her a shitty person. Tamra is literally just yelling to yell. She thinks it causes tension and drama, and that's what the people watch the show for. Wrong. It's housewives like that who ruin franchises. It's not pleasant to watch when this is constant. Unless the editors for this season are wizards, there's no way Tamra should even have the gall to call Jen a shitty person, given the way she's acted this season. This reunion is so all over the place. In Tamra's package, it was all about her coming back to the show after being on pause. She said it was super hard for her to be fired from the show, sitting on the sidelines and watching everything take place. That's why she was so nasty and talked about them on social media. Yeah, because Tamra hasn't evolved past being in middle school. She makes it clear that she was so desperate to get back on the show that she was willing to throw her own friends under the bus and be completely intolerable just to be a producer's pet. If she does what they want, it secures her orange for the next season. Even in the reunion, she still felt the need to go after Jen, who actually tried her best to stand her ground. I'm over Tamra. I was so excited to see what she would bring back into the franchise at the beginning of the season, only to get this. They bring out Taylor, and what was this look? I didn't like it at all. Whatever, Taylor's there, and Heather gives her kind of an unintentionally condescending apology. Apparently, the role that Heather was supposed to audition for was given to a well-known male actor. What is this role? I'm curious to see who it is. So Taylor tries to ask Tamra why she was intentionally stirring the pot in the bathroom with Heather when they were in Montana, and talked about her back about the IMDb comment. Andy points out that Tamra was the one who made the 1990s career comment, but Tamra dodges, deflects, and bends over backwards to walk back her comments. Taylor tries to dredge up some drama talking about Heather being anti-female or whatever. It's a reach. Taylor isn't a scrapper. She isn't great with her shade. They should just keep her in the nice friend of role instead of trying to get her to stir things up. Also, this thought just came to me. I thought Heather's dress was black, but it might be a forest green instead. What do you think? Is it black or is it green? Let me know in the comments. When they get to Gina, they ask why Jen's infidelity was such a trigger for her at the beginning of the season. I don't see how being sober now has given her clarity about the situation or whatever her explanation was, because Gina was sober when she met Jen. Next, they talk about the whole Shannon making the CPS comment. Gina was fully on 10, and rightfully so. She points out that her children are reaching the age where they can go onto social media and see the things that are said about their mother and themselves. Shannon refuses to back down from her whole "I don't remember saying that" excuse. I'm sure if Gina received an apology, she would accept it and try to move forward. But because Shannon won't even give an inch, Gina throws her a curveball.
What are my children's names?
Sienna. And now I'm like blanking.
Never talk about my children again, Shannon. Okay. I've known you for 6 years.
Well played, Gina. This ends with their fight and Gina telling Shannon to go to rehab and she'll be waiting for her apology. Bravo had to throw up the alcohol substance use helpline number because of the whole situation with Shannon's DUI. But that's it for the first part. No fun, no resolve. I was not entertained. Next episode, part 2. They put up a disclaimer that this reunion was filmed 10 days before Shannon's DUI, I think to let us know why Andy didn't ask her anything about it. At the beginning of the episode, Shannon finally decides to apologize to Gina. I think it's because Gina got so mad and put her in her place. Shannon tried to dance around the apology and justify what she said and why. No, Shannon, that's not a proper apology. They move on and dive into Shannon's relationship with John Janssen. Shannon is saying that Heather was talking to people off camera about her relationship and then saying she can't say what's truly going on because it's in the vault. Heather claps back at her and says that Shannon drinks and calls people when she's drunk and tells them about the problems in her relationship anyway. Emily rightfully points out that they're on a reality show, and if Shannon doesn't want something to come up, then why is she sharing it? Andy points out that everyone says that they all had conversations with Shannon about her relationship, but for some reason it all got put on Heather. Shannon just yells and doesn't explain herself well, but for some reason wants to yell and tell Gina she doesn't like her every time Gina opens her mouth. What's really clear is that Shannon feels very highly of herself. Who cares if she delved into the infidelity situation with her ex-husband or took off her shirt after gaining weight? It's a reality show. She is supposed to talk about her life, And that's what was going on in her life. She's no better than any of the other housewives. There was no real follow-up to Emily's story this season. She lets us know that she hasn't spoken to her mom since her visit that was on the show. They get into the way that Emily has gone after Heather all this season, which was just boring to me. I love Emily, but she was clearly bothered by Heather this season, and I don't know why. Heather is definitely not as awful as she's making her out to be. I think it's because Tamra is back this season and Emily and her kind of get along now, and she's attaching herself to Tamra by going against Heather. When we get closer to the end of the episode, we loop back to Tamra. She thinks her behavior this season is going to be excused with a few tears and this whole trope that she was coming back on the show at a hard time in her life and that she drank way too much. Jen even said on Watch What Happens Live that Tamra doesn't typically drink alcohol and is a completely different person when she drinks, but Tamra purposely drinks while she's filming. Maybe, Tamra, you can save all the excuses and do better by not drinking so much. I remember watching her on the Ultimate Girls Trip, and she was much more tolerable and normal. But maybe it was because Vicky was on the girls' trip with her, and Vicky was absolutely horrible. So Tamra probably looked better in comparison. They ended the reunion with tequila shots, with a Red Bull shot for Gina. Next year, I'm hoping it'll be 2 Red Bull shots with one for Gina and one for Shannon. I feel like the shame of getting the DUI in the way that she did should keep Shannon from drinking, at least on camera. The season has been wrapped up with a 2-part reunion. I didn't think they needed to make it more than that. What did you guys think of both parts of the reunion? Do you think it was a fitting end for the season? Who do you think came out looking the best of all the ladies? Was Heather's dress black or green? Let me know in the comments. It's the end of the OC Housewives, but we have 3 juicy franchises starting up in the next few weeks: Beverly Hills, Potomac, and Miami. I'm thinking about recapping Beverly Hills and Potomac and maybe just watching Miami without the recaps on this channel. What would you guys like to see? Let me know that as well in the comments. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch up next time. Bye.